Hey guys, here's some natural ways to treat acne and skin conditions, because what you are on the outside is a reflection of what you really are on the inside. I'm Dr. Jason West, and this is a topic near and dear to my heart. Can't wait for you to see it. Hey everyone, I want to talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, not only for me, but I have some boys that are affected by acne. And so I wanted to talk about the natural treatments for acne and what you can do at home, what natural treatments available, and then what you can do to improve your self-esteem with acne, because this is something that really affected me. And I didn't know till later why I was having the acne problem. And so I wanted to give you maybe an unusual consideration, how you can get rid of the toxins that cause acne problems. So acne really by definition is basically little tiny skin infections that, your follicles are attached to little oil pockets, and basically you get bacteria in those pockets. It causes an infection, and then you get a little whitehead that'll come up, or you can have different versions of that. And then blackheads are basically when you get an infection and they turn brown, they're exposed to air. And so there's all whole types of acne from the huge spectrum. We're just going to talk about what I call general acne and some ideas that are really, really good to help improve your overall health, so that those infections don't start in your skin and your body's not trying to push stuff out. So a couple considerations on that. Number one, the healthier you are on the inside, the better off that you're going to be for your skin health. And I have a lot of amazement, and I'm really, really impressed by all the things that the skin does. It's the biggest organ in the body, and if your insides are not working very well, your phase 1, your phase 2 detox pathways aren't working, your kidneys are not doing so well, or your liver's not doing so well, what happens is the body recruits the skin, the biggest organ in the body, to push stuff out. So if you're healthier on the inside, you have less stress on the skin. And speaking of stress, stress doesn't really cause acne, but it can really, really aggravate acne. And of course, when you're having acne, and I lived through this, it makes your stress levels go up. So let's talk about a systemic approach to acne, and then what some natural treatments are available that help most people. There are some conditions where you're going to need, medical intervention or medical overview of that. And this isn't an anti-medicine video on different types of acne medications. What it is there anything we can do so we don't need the prescriptions? And then if that doesn't work, you may need a prescription for acne. So circling around and coming back on what these little infections are. So I see a lot of hormonal acne associated, or particularly in adolescent females, where they'll get aggravated. We're going to talk about hormonal acne a little bit later in the video, but some general guidelines for acne. So one of the things that I saw on the Mayo Clinic website on acne was about a myth that greasy foods don't affect acne. And I don't know if I completely believe that, because I've seen a lot of patients and we help them to clean up their diet and not have some of the bad fats going in their system, and it has an effect on their acne. But I really think it's kind of a clogged liver, or maybe the gallbladder isn't working right. They're not able to emulsify fats in the right way, and so maybe it's more of a gallbladder problem. But what can you do if you have acne? So the first thing I tell everybody is you got to get your body on a schedule. Sleep's really, really important for overall health. It helps with skin health, and particularly if you have teenagers and they're struggling with acne, if you can get them on a schedule, it does make a difference. So go to the bed at the same time and get up on the same time. Then the healthier and alive that your foods are that you're going into the body, the healthier and alive you are, which makes your skin healthier and alive. So you want to avoid stuff that isn't good for you, particularly sugar. And one of the most important things that sugar does is it lowers your phagocytic index. Now that's a big mouthful, but what that means is, as part of our immune system, we have these cells that circulate through the body. When they find the bad guy, what they do is they open up and they envelop or engulf the bad guy. We call that process phagocytosis. We know that refined white sugar and the other 56 names for sugar, high fructose corn syrup, has an effect on the phagocytic index, which means the ability for those cells to engulf bad guys. And at the end of the day, what's happening with acne is it's an immune system problem where we're basically having infections. And if we can control and help the body to have a healthier immune system, it has an effect on acne. Now, some other things that you can do for acne is some really neat things to help cleanse the blood, to make the blood healthier. is refined tree blood. Now, I don't want to gross anybody out. There's actually a natural way to get a plant blood transfusion. Now, that's not really what happens. I mean, you're not pulling tree blood out of a tree and infusing it into the body. But if you have the right combination of your fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K, those have tremendous building components for healthy blood. There's a way to get that out of plants and to make your blood healthy. And we've seen an enormous anti-inflammatory effect on the redness of acne conditions and a decrease in acne by using a refined plant blood extract. The other thing is we need to detoxify your GI system. So there's some morolite clay, sometimes there's a type of activated charcoal, and when you mix that with the plant blood extract, it has a detoxifying effect on your skin. Now, from a dietary perspective, the less greasy foods, chocolate has been, a villain, and then there's been studies saying it really doesn't have an effect. In clinical practice, I see it have a huge effect if you can help people to modulate or reduce chocolate. And one of the clinical pearls that I found is that there's a fair amount of magnesium in chocolate. And when people really like and crave chocolate, it's because they're magnesium deficient. And if you increase their magnesium through some supplementation or even magnesium cream, what happens is their cravings for chocolate has a tendency to go down. So any chocoholics out there, you want to make sure that you're not magnesium deficient. Now, other things that are really neat for acne is if you purify the GI system with some digestive enzymes, some probiotics, be really careful with your food allergies. I've seen really good responses to gluten. I've seen good responses to eliminate dairy, and then also any other types of grains like oats, like rye, like barley, and soy seem to have a really good effect on your acne. Now, what are some of the natural treatments that you can do for that? There is an amazing treatment that I learned about. It's a German treatment called minor autohemotherapy and major autohemotherapy. This is a specific way to clean the blood, and also it's a specific way to clean the skin. So here's how I was taught the therapy. What happens is many times what's in your blood, your body gets used to. It's kind of like if you walk into your home or your residence and your significant other or your mom or your dad's fixing your favorite meal, and you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh, this smells so good. It's my favorite thing. It's pork chops. It's spaghetti. It's a roast, whatever your favorite thing to eat is. And your body will process that stimuli for about, 30, 45 seconds. And then the stimuli is coming in, the body doesn't process it because it's used to it. And many things in the blood, there's antibodies, there's antigens, there's junk and stuff in the blood the body gets used to. And there's a German technique where you can take a little bit of blood out of the body. Sometimes you mix it with a homeopathic, you can spin it down, you can separate the red blood cells from the plasma and some other things, and you mix that with a homeopathic purifier and you inject it into the muscle. What it does is it makes your body go through a spring cleaning effect. It's basically like taking some of the stuff that's in your body and making your body clean itself, almost like, I guess, a self-vaccine would be a good word to describe how that. Anyway, it has an amazing effect on skin conditions, psoriasis, acne, eczema. It has a really nice purifying effect. And in the video below, we actually have a report on that process. Now, something called major autohemotherapy is a different way to clean the blood by taking a little bit out, you mix it with a combination of oxygen and ozone, and you infuse it back into the body. So it's a little bit more of an aggressive technique. There's a really neat study called the Manual of Neural Therapy where they talk about the procedure in depth and in detail. And again, in the report below, we reference that information. So to summarize, what you can do for acne. Acne is a terrible problem. I experienced it myself. One of my sons developed it. We went through a whole bunch of different treatments for it. It really, really helped his self-esteem and his image when we were able to clean up his skin system. And then I forgot to mention one of the most important things about acne is teeth health. Now people are going to say, well, how are your teeth related to your skin system? Because if your teeth aren't healthy, then you're not healthy. And there's actually a process where if your teeth are not right, what happens is it poisons your GI system. So let me tell you my story. I was playing high school basketball and I was running across the court. I got hit by an inadvertent elbow and it really jarred this tooth. Now, the tooth actually died. It went gray, it went black. I was on a church mission for my faith in England, and it started getting darker and darker and darker. I went in to see a dentist in England. They bored out the back of the tooth. They did a little root canal. They didn't quite get everything that was in there. They sealed it up, and I got a horrific case of cystic acne because what was happening was my body was being poisoned by a chronic infection in my tooth. Now, I didn't know that at the time, but it really took a big self-esteem hit when you started to get these huge sores that were leaking based on the outside, and it was awful. Well, what happened on accident was when I came back from my mission, and I was here, and I got a little tiny bump up here on my tooth, and my dentist told me it was an internal resorption problem. That basically that part of the bone was getting liquefied. There was no place for it to go. I was trying to push it out through the gum line. And as soon as they pulled that tooth that was all infected and everything, my acne went away just like that. And I've seen that happen many, many times with kids that have acne. What's happening is they have a chronic infected tooth, or they have something that's not being taken care of, or they have an improper root canal. And if you clean that up, I've seen major improvements with skin health. I'm not a dentist, although I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night. There's my terrible joke for that. Anyway, the other thing that I forgot to mention was hormonal acne. Now, with girls and adolescent teenagers and even adult acne, there's a little gland inside your brain, between the eyes, between the ears, called the pituitary gland, and it's kind of like the office manager for the body. What it does is it tells different organ systems what to do, and during the menstrual cycle, what happens is if it gets overworked, what occurs is that gland tries to swell. There's no place for it to go. It gets irritated. Women will get cyclic headaches. And the other thing that it does is it has a huge impact acne and skin health. And the pituitary gland is a really, really important gland for skin health and also hormonal health. It sits between the eyes and the ears. And what happens is during a menstrual cycle, it gets overworked and enlarges. There's no place for it to go. The hormone signals get off, and what happens is we have this hormonal flare-up. And if you support the pituitary gland nutritionally, not only does it help with hormonal headaches, but it has a really amazing effect on hormonal acne. So those are the suggestions of what to do for acne. Hey, thanks for watching the video on acne. It really is a manifestation of how you are healthy on the inside. It's a reflection of how you are on the outside. If you got value from the video, please like us and check the little bell so you'll know when our next video is coming out. And we'll see you on the next video.